sei di me. Sei la luce dei miei occhi, mi rifletto dentro te. Sei nel corpo la mia pelle, se mi stringi forte sai. Questa vita si riaccende in ogni bacio che mi dai. Come il mantello sei, col tuo amore tu sei. Mi avvolge Dio, non temo niente oramai. Dolce amore mio, il segreto tu sei, che mi fa vivere. Amore sei tu, che come un vento mi soffi nell'anima. Questa vita che vivo per te. Se respiro della vita, all'altra parte sei di me. Sei la luce dei miei occhi, mi rifletto dentro te. Sei nel corpo la mia pelle, se mi stringi forte sai. Questa vita si riaccende in ogni bacio che mi dai. E se guardo nei tuoi occhi vedo i sogni che farò, ogni volta in questo abbraccio morirei. Mille volte amore ancora, mi innamorerò, lo so, sempre più io di te. Se respiro della vita, all'altra parte sei di me. Sei la luce dei miei occhi, mi rifletto dentro te. Sei nel corpo la mia pelle, se mi stringi forte sai. Questa vita si riaccende. Se respiro della vita, all'altra parte sei di me. Sei la luce, mi rifletto dentro te. Sei nel corpo la mia pelle, se mi stringi forte sai. Questa vita si riaccende in ogni bacio che mi dai. Sei respiro. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Hello everybody and welcome friends and family of the Giada Valenti live. How are you doing? How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's Giada Valenti here in Las Vegas. 2 p.m. of course for me, 5 p.m. for you guys watching from the East Coast. I've learned all the time zone during this COVID-19. I know it's almost time to go to bed, quasi tempo di andare a dormire for you guys watching from Europe because it's 11 p.m., ore 23 della sera, 22 at night for you guys in Ireland and in England, and I see some of you already there. And what else? Good morning, buongiorno to all the one of you watching from far away Australia. It's already the day after for you. It's already Sunday. So welcome to the Circle of Love. So welcome to the Circle of Love, and welcome also to all the new people that are watching today. So where are you watching from if you're new? I see a few new. I see also Doug appearing. Doug, I haven't seen you in a long time. At least I see you, but I haven't mentioned you in a long time. So welcome also Doug. We all know Doug. Doug was my chief editor when we were doing birthday and events. We will pick them up in November. I promise you, I know many of you love that. For the one of you that are new, I am Giada Valenti. So Giada Valenti. I am a singer and songwriter born and raised in Italy, in actually the city of Venice, and I'm doing all this sign language because I am learning some sign language. I think this is the sign language. So I'm learning some sign language. Thanks to Diane Fiorentino. I've been doing this ever since it started. So when did it start? It started March 18. March 12 was my last concert before Las Vegas closed down and before the whole world closed down for this unfortunate situation of COVID-19. So my last concert was the 12th. The 18th, I was already missing you guys. I went live in front of my phone and I started to say hello. Before I knew, I did it for 100 days straight, me with you, together we did it. We did an interview, I cooked for you, I sang for you, and we had tons of fun. And I also educated myself and many of you to learn some sign language, because as you remember, my friend Diane Fiorentino has a son who is deaf, and Sal, they told me that indeed Diane and Sal told me how difficult it was for the people that are deaf to understand us, because we are wearing masks and they could not read our lips. So I said, let's include also them and learn something. You never know, it may come handy to me. And actually it's been handy to me. A couple of times I met some people while wearing my mask at Trader Joe with the sign language, and some people approached me asking me if I knew sign language. And of course I just say, I only know a little bit. So the little bit that I know, one important one is that I love you, and I know you, all of you have been doing this sign and learning this sign. So we are not doing anymore after the 100 days every day. Of course, I was exhausted. So even though you guys were missing me, we got used to the summer schedule, which is the following. We still have in the summer schedule here. Tuesday, we have celebrity interviews that will be picked up very soon in November. Thursday, I have Italian culture and lifestyle. And Saturday, like today, we are in the kitchen. The Thursday is always an important day because I do it together with the friends of Italian Living. If you're watching through Italian Living today by coincidence, welcome guys of Italian Living. Is a beautiful page of a friend of mine that promotes, or just like me, everything that is great from the Made in Italy, coming from Italy. Richard Micheli, I'm honored to be partnering with you every Thursday. So Saturday we cook, and on Sunday, of course, since I am a singer, on Sunday I am singing on my Patreon page, which is happening tomorrow. I will tell you all about it in a little bit. So excited every time to sing for you, because of course I love to cook, but sing and music is my first big passion. It's October, ladies and gentlemen. It's October. October is the month of October, and the month of October is a very important month because it's the month of the Italian culture month. Since a couple of days ago was also the month of the Spanish culture. Of course, I still have the card of those. Why do I say October? Because it's funny. I told you, Italian cultural month is from October 1st until October 31st. The Hispanic one, which is the sign for the Spanish cultural month, is only from September 15 until October 15. So they have half of September and half of October. We celebrated the culture actually with music and with food here in the kitchen. In the last 2 weeks, I've been cooking some delicious recipe and cocktails that were a mix of Italian food and Hispanic and Latin kind of food. One of my favorite was, and I know many of you are going to make it this week. I know you, Mary Lou and Bob are making. They're making my caprese taco. And delicious was also, if you want to try to make my pasta alla spagnola that I made last week. I really love it. I make it not only during this month of celebration. I make it many times. It's a delicious. It was actually, I had forgot all about the pasta. It was suggested to me from my mom. My mom said, hey, why you don't make that pasta that I made for you so many times? So last Saturday we made that recipe. Should you wanted to see the recipe because you have missed it, you can always go to giada.live and you can catch all the episodes, and you can see, of course, all my recipe. And the music and everything. So today I cooked something very delicious. Is another one of my favorite recipe. My father, as you know, comes from the region of Lazio, where Rome is, and I'm from Venice, Italy. And this is one of my dad's favorite recipe from his own region. I'm going to make for you Bucatini alla matriciana. I'm going to tell you and teach you all about this traditional, delicious recipe. And it's, look at that picture already. The pictures make you like smile and makes you hungry. At least it does with me. Guys, if you make it, you're going to love it. And of course, I always make cocktails even though I'm not a big drinker, and I'm always say also to you guys, drink with moderation, because I don't think alcohol is good for us, but I wanted to learn more about also these things because it's very popular. Today I also making something who has an Italian touch, and I also going to teach you all about it, because we're going to use one alcohol that is called Sambuca, that originate also in the region of Lazio. Today I'm going to make this delicious cocktail, which is Cafe Roma Martini. Look at that. The good thing of this drink, I would say the good thing, because when you drink, at least if you're not a heavy drinker like I am, I never drink basically, and you drink like un aperitivo, so before you eat something, you can get drunk easily, I've been told. This is actually un digestivo, so it's a cocktail for after your meal. It will help you to digest. This is what the Sambuca that I'm going to teach you all about it. It's very famous for. I say teach you because I told myself yesterday. I must say I've in my family everybody drinks Sambuca, but I've never paid much attention about the drink. So yesterday I Wikipedia everything. I asked also my father a few information about it, and I will share them all with you while I will be making that cocktails. But before I think it's Saturday, and last night was Friday. I was exhausted, and after a long time I put on television. Of course, I watch Amazon Prime, and I watch a movie that I really loved. If you guys, I think it's from 2011, JJ, or something? Oh, 2003. So new to me, but it's made several years ago. It's called Radio. If you have Amazon Prime, just watch this movie. It's a true story, and the actors that you see them are Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ed Harris. And it's a true story about, of course, a coach and a very special guy played by Cuba Gooding Jr., the actor. And it make me, it warm up my heart. It's a beautiful story that proves that sometimes if you need give a little bit of attention to somebody who may look hard or different than us, it can change only not his life, but the lives of everybody. It's like you change something, you give attention to somebody, and you change so many lives. Just an act of kindness. So if you have Amazon Prime, I truly suggest for you to see this movie. It's called Radio. Very beautiful, touching, and fun movie too as well. And so I love that. I love to watch the movie last night and to relax a little bit. Before I start to cook and make cocktails, I also wanna give my thank you to a few people that if when COVID is going to be over and somebody's going to asking me what was for me COVID-19, I would say I found out that there are so many amazing, wonderful, really wonderful, amazing people out there. This is the word for amazing in these people. And you guys are really amazing people, amazing, wonderful, unbelievable people. Yesterday, I got actually all the food that I'm cooking today and even more in my fridge was delivered to me by two people of the Circle of Love, Bob and Mary Lou. They came here and they asked me, can we do food shopping for you? Because they know I'm out of my work. I have not got my unemployment yet, still waiting. If anybody has connection with unemployment office, please let me know how I can contact them, because apparently we cannot contact them. The phones are ringing. Yesterday I was on hold for 3 hours. And then at a certain point, of course, the line cut out. So Bob and Mary Lou, they know about all these issues. So yesterday they offered to do some food shopping for me, and they bought not only what was in my list, they bought me so much more. Guys, I really love you. I really, really love you. That's the sign. And next time you guys come to my place, I'm going to put some chairs outside in the garden, because we were standing there chit-chatting with them for at least 15 minutes, and I didn't know, shall I invite them in or whatever. So next time I bring chairs down, Bob and Mary Lou, so we can sit under the sun and have some chit-chat. So thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank Elena and Diane Fiorentino. I had a chance to see the girls, I call them my sister, from another mother. And I saw them last Thursday. This is a picture we took at the Sterling Club here in Las Vegas. We went for lunch. Thank you, Elena, for inviting us. And with Elena and Diane, actually, we are working on something for Christmas that I will share tomorrow on my Patreon page, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks for everybody, also here on social media. And I want to also thank Roger, because Roger heard of the thing and he said, I want to chip in too. So Roger, I love you. And yesterday also good news. You remember Roger is the gentleman that bought me the new computer. They gave me my new piano and also a guitar that I have to learn to play. And the piano had a little issues. I brought it to repair, and the piano, there it is, back like new. So thank you, Roger. Roger took care of everything. I am a blessed girl, so I just want to start. It's not even Thanksgiving, and I want to start with my gratitude. And I also want to thank, if he's watching, Bruce Marin, another amazing friend of mine. If you're on my social media, you may have seen a post that Bruce himself posted where he said great news coming up, and it's a great news that have to do with the Giada Live that I really cannot wait to share with you. And I want to thank Bruce for arranging and helping me in do that one. That's what a true friend is. So I love you, Bruce. This is a sign for Bruce. So thank you, Bruce Mary, and I cannot wait to share all the news with you. So after my thanks, I think it's time for me to start to cook the water. You remember last week, to boil the water last week, because I got these little things from Wes and Gina. Wes and Gina, if you are watching, guys, thank you for this present, which is this little stove that doesn't get warm but boil the water. And last week somehow it could not boil the water. It was very slow, so now we'll see how fast it goes. And otherwise we are going to be waiting together. Oh, I see also Antonella Giorgi, my cousin, la mia cugina. I know they went to visit my mom and dad. You surprised them. They were very surprised. They even didn't recognize you. Antonella is a cousin of mine. We are actually from the region of Lazio, where this recipe is. Antonella is from the Regione del Lazio, and she went to visit my parents in Venice. She's there on vacation, in vacanza dalle parti dei miei genitori, and she went to visit my mom and dad. And my mom and dad were not even thinking about Antonella. They haven't seen her in 25 years or something. So they even didn't recognize her. Non ti hanno neanche riconosciuta fino a quando non eri vicina e ti hanno riconosciuto dagli occhi. My mother said, when I saw her from close by, I saw the eyes and I recognized it was family. So grazie Antonella per essere andata a trovare la mia mamma e mio papà. So many people. I see, I'm trying to see if there are new people. I see also Elena there. Elena, have you seen yourself? I thank you for the wonderful lunch we had at the Sterling Club the other day, and the laugh. We had so many laughs that you cannot even imagine, ladies and gentlemen. I see also Sam Shockley over there. Sam, how are you doing? Miss you, girl. Oh, I see so many people. William Mazza. I see Roger Unger. I'm making you Bucatini, Roger, today, and you're going to learn what Bucatini is. Roger got Bucatini. He's a friend of mine from Liverpool, and he said he had Bucatini okay, weeks ago, friends of mine, and he said, can you make Bucatini? I said, yeah, give me which kind of recipe, because he thought the Bucatini was a recipe. Actually, Bucatini, you're going to learn, Roger, Richard, is a kind of a pasta, and I'm going to tell you all about it in a second. So here we go. I would say let's start while the water is boiling. Let's start to make the cocktail. Remember, it's a digestivo, but we want to make it before. And you know, I don't know much about cocktails, so here I have my computer, and here are the ingredients. The ingredients for what I'm making today, which is Cafe Roma Martini, are only a few actually, so it's going to be easy to make. Are 1 shot of Sambuca, 1 shot of coffee liquor, 1 half and half, which is milk, and coffee beans for a garnish. So in sign language today I'm going to make an Italian alcohol, an Italian cocktails, and is made with Sambuca, which is an Italian kind of liquor. Here it is. And some coffee liquor. There is some coffee alcohol liquor, and some coffee beans just for decoration, and some milk, and this is the sign for milk, of course, from a cow. So very simple ingredients, and let me make it. So you have to put some ice. It's written here on a shaker. I have the ice, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to put 1 shot, is written there, of coffee liquor. 1 coffee of Sambuca, they say. 2 shots, because JJ said we're making 2. So okay, so I'm gonna fill. This is 1 shot or 2, JJ? This is 2. When it's full, it's 2. So this it is. So I'm making 2 cocktails. So normally for 1 is 1 shot. Today is 2. Sambuca. I'm gonna tell you all about this Sambuca. Here we go. In a second. Then I'm gonna do the same. Let me read there. The same thing. 1 shot of coffee liquor. 2 shots, JJ said. Okay, I'm double it. So 2 shots of coffee liquor. That's a lot of liquor. I know Roger. Roger likes to drink. I mean, he's really somebody that loves to drink the stuff. He said, last week you made something with a lot of alcohol. Oh yeah. That's why I make it and I zip it. I don't really drink it. So I'm gonna put this one in. Is Roger there? Yeah, Roger. You're gonna love this one. By the way, this coffee liquor smells fantastic. And then you have to put 1 shot of milk. And since it looks there is so much alcohol, I'm gonna put a little bit more than 1 shot of milk. So don't do it like I do. I dilute a little bit of alcohol, thinking that that will help. And that's it. So let me put this one over there. And basically, if I understand well, I just need to shaker this, right, JJ? Yes, we are shaking. JJ said I have to do it a lot because a lot of liquid needs to go to the thing. It smells delicious. It smells like anisette. I want to tell you all about the Sambuca that I found out yesterday. Is this enough? JJ said it's enough. So the question is now, JJ, shall I pour it with this one? Yes. You know, JJ he knows everything about cocktail. Me, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to pour some of this one in here. Looks like milk, JJ. Oh well, it's supposed to be more brown than this one, no? Probably because I put too much milk, JJ will say. Okay, so guys, you know the ingredient. Don't put as much milk as I put it. And then he said basically that to decorate we need to put 3 chicchi di caffè, which are 3. Normally in the Sambuca we always put coffee beans. It looks very pretty actually. So Sambuca originated also in the region of Lazio. Here it is. I'm going to give it to JJ, and he cannot drink it because it's a digestivo. So Sambuca originated in the region of Lazio, and it was invented actually by Luigi Manzi in 1851, 1851. So old is this delicious liquor. And of course it's made with edelberry. He invented these things, and I even have pictures of Mr. Luigi Manzi. He's very famous, of course, in Italy because the Sambuca is famous all over the world. He created in 1851 in Civitavecchia is where he opened the first factory. But the story goes actually that he was in the island of Ischia. And he saw these people picking up the edelberry, which is in Italiano is called sambuco. That's that kind of berry. And he wanted to dedicate. And those people that were picking up edelberry, they were drinking water with anisette, with anice. So, and they were always feeling well. They said it was good for digestion. So he took that idea, he put inside some edelberry, and he created this liquor. And the story goes that in Ischia, which is this beautiful island outside Naples, Garibaldi, which was an Italian famous general, was visiting. He was recovering from the battles, and Mr. Manzi gave him the sambuca that he had created. Garibaldi loved it, and he asked him, you have to make more. So Mr. Manzi went to Civitavecchia, where he was from, and he started a factory where he was producing apparently 48 bottles a week in 1851. Well, now they are producing so many of them. There are many, many different brands of Sambuca. The most famous, of course, it's not anymore this one, is the Molinari. As you see, Mr. Molinari in 1945 has bought Angelo Molinari almost all the brands. You see them, there are many. If you go to a liquor store, you will find many. I choose today to make this one the Sambuca Romana because it's my father favorite. You see the water is cooking today. It's my father favorite one. And as I said, so he was born in Ischia, and I always like. I'm giving this to JJ, and I'm gonna try it because we need to try it. I want to show you a few slideshow of Ischia, which is this beautiful island where, if you remember, I went on my honeymoon. And Mr. Manzi had, and the family of Mr. Manzi still have, one of the most prestigious terme and spa in the island of Ischia. Look at that, the Terme Manzi. It's a beautiful place. I saw a few pictures. I haven't visited actually the Terme Manzi myself yet, because every time I go to Ischia, look at that place, I was going to different places. But I think it surely is a place that next year when we can travel, if we make it to Italy, we have to go to the island of Ischia. Look at that place. It's just spectacular. I've been there on honeymoon, and actually I've seen all these places. It's even more beautiful, if it's possible, than in the picture. And one of the places we went with JJ, I have a slideshow here, we went to another kind of thermal, the Poseidon one. This all makes you feel good. They have different kind of water, hot and cold. Look at that place. It's just like going to the Hawaii of the Maldives. And you see the island. Everybody goes to the island of Capri, which is below there near Sorrento, you remember? And island of Capri. They look far away, but actually they are only 25 minutes by boat. And Ischia is a big island. It's just beautiful. So I hope you guys can go there. So this is a little story of my the Sambuca. So let me see. So let me see how it is. Actually, it's delicious, guys. It has a coffee taste with a little bit anisette. And I understand why in Italy, actually, you can drink Sambuca after, many people do, like my father do. You can drink some, like with nothing, just with some coffee beans inside. Or you can put it in your coffee. That's what we do. We make espresso coffee and then we put the Sambuca in. Now I understand why my father likes it. But it's easily to get drunk with this one, so I'm going to put it here, especially for me that I only have my breakfast because I am going to cook my lunch as now. The water is cooking, so I'll see if I can do it without putting in the little stone that Linda gave me, because every time I put it in the water, this helps the water not to come out because I'm using my little pan to cook the pasta. So I'm always afraid that the water comes out. And if you put this one in, the water doesn't come out. But the problem is it makes this kind of noise while the water is cooking, and JJ doesn't like that. So let's put some salt in the water. We are making this delicious recipe, which are bucatini alla matriciana, which is one of the most famous recipe while visiting the region of Lazio, the Lazio region. So here are my bucatini. Before I put them in the water, let me first tell you all the ingredients that you need to have for this one. There is. You need some pasta, of course, bucatini pasta. You need some Marzano tomatoes, pancetta or guanciale. I'll tell you all about it in a second. Then you see grated pecorino cheese and grated Parmigiano cheese. I don't know if you know the difference. I'll tell you in a second. A garlic clove. Then you need red chili pepper, a lot of it I would say. Olive oil, of course, and salt and pepper should you want it to use pepper. I never use pepper because I put a lot of peperoncino, so it's very, very spicy, but you can use one. So if you are wondering, so these are the ingredients. I'm going to do it for you in a second, also in a signed language for the one that they don't know. This recipe is very easy. You find it all over the world, all over Italy, matter of fact, but it originated in the city of Amatrice, which is a beautiful city that unfortunately was destroyed by the earthquake 4 years ago. And I started to make this recipe. I made it there. You see where is Amatrice, in the heart of Italy, and not far from Rome. I made it many times on television while I was promoting my PBS special because the earthquake was horrible. And in honor of Amatrice, I was reminding everybody to send some money for Amatrice 4 years ago. They're still not doing very well over there, but they are recovering. So there are a few good things. I'm going to put the water, the pasta inside in the meantime, because the pasta will take 8 minutes to be cooked al dente. And since my pan is small, I will have to push the pasta inside because I don't want to break my bucatini. So they're going to get a little bit soft, and I'm going to push them in the water. So I leave them there for a second. So while my bucatini are cooking, I want to tell something about bucatini. Roger was saying he thought the bucatini was a recipe. No, actually, bucatini, it's a kind of a pasta. So bucatini, it's a kind of a pasta. It's like a straw with a hole inside. And they're called also in Italy, they're also called in Neapolitan, in dialetto, they call it perciatelli. They're spaghetti like pasta with a hole running through the center, and the name comes from Italian buco, meaning hole, while the bucato, it's Neapolitan language is perciato, means pierced. So it's a pierced pasta. So if you take this pasta, actually this one was very small. Normally in Italy we have even a bigger bucatini. It's like a straw. You can really push air, but even with this one you can push air through should you want it. You see, I'm pushing my water in, my bucatini into the water because they are kind of low. You can also do like this if you don't want to push it. You put this one on top. Normally it works, but in a second, not yet. So I push it with my hands. So bucatini, that is the meaning. So now, Roger, you know, bucatini is just a kind of a pasta. Talking about the ingredients, so you need some red cherry tomatoes. This is red and cherry tomatoes, and here they are, as you saw it. I showed everything in a second in a video. And you need some tomato sauce, and here it is. You need 2 kinds of cheeses. Normally, the original one only has one cheese, as the pecorino cheese, and the pecorino cheese is made of goat milk. So the pecorino cheese is made with goat milk. But I also use for mine, because I like, that's the way I like to make it, I also use the Parmigiano Reggiano, which is a cheese made with milk, a cheese made with milk cow. And I'm gonna put them then together. That's all you need. You need your pasta, you need some red hot chili pepper. This is the sign for red hot chili pepper, red hot chili pepper, so very easy. And this is some salt. This is all you need. Remember, my grandmother said that you need 4 ingredients to make a delicious Italian recipe, and it's true. And you need some olive oil, and which you're gonna see in a second. So let me finish to push my pasta inside, otherwise it's never gonna cook. And of course, I made this morning the sauce, but it will take you like 20 minutes to make it. And before I cook it, you will see that I use, actually, for the one I made it today, I use that pancetta. So my family from the region of Lazio will start a big discussion, because what is pancetta? Pancetta is completely different. The original meat that you use for this recipe is guanciale. So guanciale is a kind of a meat made by a pig, but it's made with the cheek of the pork. Here it is. It's pronounced guanciale, and it's made of the cheek of the pork. And of course, it's completely different than the one I used today, which is pancetta, which is made. Here it is. Pancetta is made from the belly of the pork. So yes, completely. You will say, how can it be different? It's different also because let me see. I found also a few things that actually the pancetta is cured and unsmoked, and comparing to the guanciale, and also the pancetta is also different than. If you find pancetta, is better than using bacon, because bacon is also uncured, but it is also smoked. So he has a completely different taste. So if you cannot find guanciale, I could not find it actually, unfortunately, here in Las Vegas. I should have asked you, Mary Lou and Bob. Maybe you could have found it. Yesterday I went all over, yesterday afternoon, I couldn't find it. When I was in New York and I was making this around the country on television, I could find in New York everywhere on the Italian Daily the guanciale. I couldn't find it here, so I used the pancetta. You have a slightly different taste, also because especially the guanciale that they make in the region of Lazio, and normally you can find also in New York, is aged for 3 months, and they put a lot of spices and peperoncino and garlic on it, which is not in the pancetta. So the taste, as you can imagine, is a little bit different. So while my pasta is cooking, it needs to cook for 8 minutes. Now it's completely on, so it's 33. JJ, can you count 8 minutes for me?
I count 8 minutes. Somebody's asking why you're using such a small pot.
While I'm using that's a good question. So I never use this small pot, but I wanted to cook in front of you. Normally I cook there, and this kind of little stove only works with this kind of pan that has what, JJ? What is it made of? Ceramic. If you put on this stove a normal one,
Steel.
oh, it's a steel pan. And yeah, so I'm looking to buy a bigger one, but I've not been able to find one. So I only have 2 that works on this little stove. So don't listen to me. If you can cook it on the big one. Like if I cook it there, I have my big pasta, but it doesn't matter. I put a lot of water, and I just make sure that the whole pasta goes inside. So that's the reason. Actually, is a technical reason why I'm not using. So while the pasta is cooking, that's going to be the moment to show you how to make this very simple sauce of this Bucatini alla matriciana, salsa alla matriciana. Remember, Amatriciana because it's an honor of Amatrice, which is a city of the region of Lazio. Everything I made today is to do with Rome and the Lazio region. So I made a little video this morning so you can see how you can make the sauce yourself at home. JJ, you can start the video on how easy. You will see, of course, you need some olive oil. You put on your skillet. That's my other skillet that normally work on here. That's my real stove. You put some olive oil and you let it warm up. When it's kind of hot, you're gonna put your garlic, cut it in pieces. For this specific reason, when the garlic it just gives the taste to the oil, when it's brown, you're gonna take it out, remove it from your oil, and you're gonna put in your hot oil. Remember, I put the pancetta, but originally you have to put the guanciale, which is the cheek kind part of the pig. and you put it in. You're gonna add, of course, as in all recipe, a little bit of salt and chili pepper. You can also put pepper. I like to put a lot of chili pepper. We call it peperoncino, and all the food from the region of Lazio is very picante. It's very spicy. So you let it cook for 10 minutes because the pancetta needs to be cooked. You cannot eat it raw, so you need it cooked for 10 minutes. At that moment, you add the Sarmanzano tomato, cut it in small pieces. And you let it cook because, of course, they need to melt a little bit. So you let it cook for 10 minutes, depending on the kind of flame, until they melt a little bit like that. That took me 10 minutes, actually, really. And you had there some tomato sauce. You can also put tomato sauce with piece of tomato, but I like to use the real Sarmanzano inside. It's the way I like to make it. And you let it cook again for another 10 minutes, for a total of 20 minutes, as you can see so far. And then you add the pecorino romano, and I also do the Parmesan cheese. The original one only had the pecorino romano. Remember, is made of goat. I like to mix them together, grate them, and warm it up for a second, and your sauce is ready. And it's ready to prepare your bucatini. Here it is. You're coming back to me in a second, and here you can see my sauce. If you have a spoon and a piece of roasted bread, you can put it in and you can eat it like that. I cannot wait to put this one on my bucatini. Of course, my pasta is cooking in my little thing. And by the way, so far, no water is coming out of this little thing, so I didn't use the little stone of Linda. So JJ, you were right. JJ was bothered by the ping that the little stone was making. So if you have questions, this is the moment to ask for me. Remember, so now you know, Richard, bucatini is just a kind of a pasta that has a hole inside, because bucatini comes from the word buco, which means hole. We also call them in Italy, if you are in the region of Naples, because you find this recipe everywhere, they're going to call this pasta perciatelli, which is a kind of a diet words for a whole bucatini. Perciati in a dialetto from Naples means bucati, with a little hole inside. So bucatini or perciatelli. Of course, when you buy them all around, we're back on. Sorry guys, we had some streaming problem. It's funny because they've been working and doing some work here on my street here in Las Vegas, so we are losing internet all the time. I was hoping and praying that it was not happening during the Giada Live. Let's pray and hope that it doesn't happen tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be celebrating the music of Burt Bacharach on my Patreon page. So tomorrow we'll be singing for you Burt Bacharach music. And if I get kicked off, like it happens like Sunday, to the internet on my Patreon page, then we cannot go back, because we have to recreate the thing. So let's pray and hope that tomorrow is not happening while we're doing the Patreon concert, which, this is almost cooked actually, 1 minute. I remind everybody that I hope that I will be seeing you tomorrow on my Patreon page. Tomorrow, as I said, last week we celebrate last Monday Columbus Day, and also I did a little concert with all Italian and Hispanic music. We had a lot of fun. I was supposed to be at Carnegie Hall if it was not COVID-19, so I dressed up with a Randolph Duke dress. I don't know, Randolph, if you're watching, but I was wearing the magnificent dress that Randolph had made for me. These are the pictures for, and of course I put on my green screen in the office Carnegie Hall, and we had tons of fun. And if you are not familiar with Patreon, just go on patreon.com/Giada Valenti. It's a subscription, so you have to pay a minimum of $1 to see the concert. So I would just say invest $1 tomorrow, 2 p.m. We always go live, and tomorrow it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be the music of Burt Bacharach. And by the way, Burt Bacharach, man, how many songs did the man write? There are so many. I still haven't chosen actually all of them. I know that there are a few that you guys were requesting, like The Look of Love and Close to You and What the World Needs Now. That's what friends are for. You have asked me for. Of course, I also have learned Alfie. I also have learned, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do them all, but A House is Not a House. What is the name of the song, JJ? A House is Not a Home, I think that's the title. I don't know. Of course, This Girl's in Love with You, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, and Arthur's Theme. So many of you were suggestions. So I've learned them all. Of course, I cannot do them all because the concert is only 1 hour. So I will figure it out to create some nice a concert for you. And then of course we are doing it every Sunday, so I will squeeze in here and there all the other one that I won't be able to do tomorrow. I think my pasta here is almost ready. I'll remember that today I have cooked a delicious recipe that is like called Bucatini alla matriciana, which was made with red tomatoes, was made with red tomato sauce and olive oil and some cheese, actually some grated cheese from goat and also from the cow milk, made with milk of both. And of course, funny sign, I really like it. This is the red hot chili pepper. And of course I forgot the garlic. You remember Diane said garlic because the garlic smells. So this is sign language for garlic, and this is the sign language for red hot chili pepper. This is the color red, and this is the spicy because it's spicy coming out of your mouth. So, and of course salt. It's so easy, right? I've been loving everything that Diane has been teaching me. Bucatini alla matriciana. JJ saying, showing again all the ingredients. Remember, this is one of the most traditional recipe from the region of actually Lazio. One important thing, I don't know if I said, actually originally the recipe was only, did I say that one? Was only made with guanciale, which is this kind of meat, was made of guanciale, you see, was made of guanciale and the pecorino cheese, so and the goat cheese. Only later, at the end of 1600, they had the tomatoes and the tomato sauce to the recipe, because remember, this was considered the food of the poor, and the poor had available only the pork meat and the pecorino that they could make with the milk of the goat. So originally at the end of 1600 they put tomatoes, and ever since when you ask for an amatriciana you are gonna get also the tomato. And remember, there is no onions. There was a big discussion when I was making this on television 4 years ago. Many people were saying, what about the onions? There is absolutely no onions in the original amatriciana. And remember, there is only one cheese. I put the Parmigiano Reggiano because I personally like, because it makes the pecorino a little bit more mellow, because the pecorino is very salty. In the original, there is only the pecorino romano, the name said himself, Romano, from Rome, and the guanciale, the pork meat that I told you all about. And I'm looking forward to have later my drink. The pasta is ready, so let me switch off these things. That's always my question here. Today I think I did it, otherwise JJ is gonna stop it over there. And I'm gonna take the water out of my pasta. Voila. You will see that the bucatini that were so small before, they grow in the water, so they became bigger, like the one that but in Italy we have even bigger bucatini than this one. So I'm gonna put the pasta here on my bowl. Guys, that's always the moment where I wish you guys were all here with me. So here's my bucatini. Look how big they got. Look at my bucatini. Remember, there is a hole inside, so it's like a straw. I'm gonna put my amatriciana sauce that I show you in the video how to do. And by the way, you can always watch back at the video if you wanna see back how I made it. You're gonna mix it all together. Here we go. JJ, are you hungry? Mucho. Mucho, we're still speaking Spanish. Mucho is Spanish, and in Italiano is molto. È molto affamato. This is hungry in sign language. So JJ is very hungry. And I know Diane and Elena, if they're still watching, they are laughing now, because we had some... sometimes when you do the sign of hungry differently, it has a completely different meaning. Are they still watching, JJ? And when we were on lunch last Thursday, of course, we met some people actually that knew sign language at the Sterling Club, and we had a lot of fun. So I know, Diane, you are laughing, and also you, Elena, you are laughing of the sign for hungry. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna put this one on the plate, because I know JJ is hungry, so I can show you. Look how big this pasta got. And remember, there are really only a few ingredients, and you will be surprised how tasteful this pasta is. JJ, want to have a big portion? Yeah. JJ said he wants to have a big one. Of course, at this point, I put it already inside, but always put on top of it. There is never enough cheese. So you put some, remember this is a mix of Parmesan cheese and Pecorino Romano. And I would say to JJ, buon appetito. This really reminds me of my grandmother because it's a recipe that my grandmother Maria from the south, from Priverno in Provincia di Latina, was making all the time. It smells delicious, JJ. Buon appetito, JJ. I'm gonna make a portions also for myself. This is something that if you have leftover, which probably I will not have because I think I'm gonna eat the whole plate myself. But if you have leftover, you can of course eat it the day after. And look at this pasta. It's like big spaghetti with a hole. When we were kids, we have difficulty to eat this pasta because it slips from your mouth. So we were calling them spaghetti da costa, pasta da corsa. So it was like a race spaghetti. So I'm gonna put on top of it a little bit of mixed of Parmigiano Reggiano and Pecorino Romano. Remember the original one only had the Pecorino. Pecorino Romano is very salty, so if you like the original one, try it with only Pecorino, and I will try to have a little bit of it to let you know if I did a good job also this time. JJ, how is the pasta? JJ is already eating. He said buonissima, so. You know how food brings back memory? This really brings back, this is for sure is a recipe of the South. This is a recipe that every time I make it, even now that I'm tasting, brings back memory of me, of course, visiting my paternal grandmother, la mia nonna Maria del Sud. She was making this pasta all the time, and every time I make it, it reminds me of her. This is the smell of her kitchen. Guys, I wish you were here with me. I want to thank all of you for watching, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're gonna make this delicious, really delicious recipe that originated in Rome. And I'm gonna see you on Thursday for the Giada Live, let's say. So we skip the Tuesday, but we are going to have some more news about the interviews. I will restart also the interview and the birthday and event and everything. But most of all, I'm going to be seeing you tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be Giada Valenti, the singer. I will be singing for you. And remember, if you make the Bird Baccarat, it's tomorrow. So I hope you're going to be there tomorrow for a scene. I'm gonna have also my digestivo to digest this delicious pasta. If you wanna make it, of course, it's called Cafe Roma Martini, and I made it with, as you may remember, with many different kind of alcohol. It's an Italian kind of cocktails. It's made with Sambuca, which is an Italian alcohol, and it's made with coffee alcohol, and also made with milk, which is the sign for milk is this one. And you put some coffee. Look at this, coffee, beans inside just for decoration. So don't eat them, it's just decoration. I'm gonna have lunch with this one. I wanna thank you all for having been with me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys. I love you, circle of love, and I'm gonna be seeing you tomorrow on my Patreon page, patreon.com. You can find also my music at JJ Saidi on Spotify, on Apple Music and Amazon Music. The song in the beginning is Il Respiro. I know many of you like it. I try to put it as soon as possible also on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon. It's not there yet because I've never released the song. And I'm gonna have some great news to share with all of you. I see Salme, Lisa, there you are. I see my friend Janet. I see Patrizia Campana. Patrizia, there is meat in this one. You cannot make it. Elena Beninato is there. What else, JJ? All people. So all the you people that, you know, I love you. Thank you, Elena. I know you are a great chef. I cannot wait for you to cook for me. Maybe we cook together, girl. And I see Roger, my dear friend Roger. Richard, now you know, Bucatini. This is one of the many recipes that you can make with the Bucatini pasta. Remember, Bucatini is just a kind of spaghetti. And I see Salme, I see Diane Fiorentino, I see Antonio. All my circle of love. You guys are amazing. I love you all. And I see also Frank La Placa, another one of my Las Vegas friends. Frank, I'm going to see you also tomorrow on my Patreon page. If you're not on my Patreon page, please do so. It's $1. Just invest $1. And then if you don't like it, you can always cancel it for the next Sunday. And if you like it, you stick with us every Sunday. And we are going to sing and have tons of fun. Tomorrow, I'm going to see you on my Patreon page. Guys, I love you. I really love you with all my heart. E ci vediamo domani, Grazie e buon appetito. And if you make my recipe, please send me a pictures of it. Ciao, a domani.
Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Though I'm here in my solitude, I know you are there, and in my heart I smile again. And so I sing here in my solitude, waiting to see you, same time, same place, and I can't wait to say again, Dankeschön, Dankeschön, Dankeschön.